my Cartesian plane here, when you come to the reduction rules, remember all students take chemistry, and then you've got 0, 90. You need to know this. It must be at the tip of your fingers. 270 and 360, and you need to know the reduction rule for the second. This is first quadrant, this is second quadrant, this is third, and this is the fourth quadrant. That's where my 360 is. Now in the fourth quadrant, the reduction rule is what? Is 360 degrees minus theta. So we are here in the fourth quadrant, and you ask yourself, remember all students take chemistry. What is cos? Cos is positive, but what is sine? Sine is negative and tan is negative. Hello our most valued student, my name is Confident and welcome to our revision session again for the grade 11, and this time we're looking at paper 2, and the topic that I want to focus on is on trigonometry. And I just want to revise with you this paper. It's a paper that was written, as you can see, it's paper 2 in November 2019. But now the approach on this time will be a little bit different. So just to go through in brief on this question, and just to show you what the whole revision will be about, not only in trig but in the whole paper that I'm going to be bringing about. We're going to look at all the questions, but what I want to check on the instruction here is the rounding off. It says we need to leave our answers in 2 decimal places, so that's what I want to bring, and then the rest are always general instructions. And so this is what I'm going to do with you guys. So we have question 1, and question 1 is on the module or under the topic of statistics. So this is statistics. So question 1, question 2 will be under statistics. So I'm going to do videos that will be focusing on 1 and 2 just under statistics, and then we'll look at question number 3 here. As it says, see, this is question number 3. It will be on analytical geometry, so this one is out of 20 marks, as well as question number 4. It will be also on analytical geometry. Let me check again. So question number 4 will be on analytical geometry. So there will be a set of video that will focus just on question 3 and 4. And then if you look at question 5, so that's what you must expect in your final exam. Question 5 will be on trigonometry. That's where we are. So I'm going to do question 5, and I'm going to do question 6, still the same trig. And then this one, of course, it will be on graphs, question 6. And then question 7 is also on trigonometry, but this is more of application using, that is the sine rule, the cosine rule, the area rule, and then it will go on that. And then after that, there is the topic on measurement. I'll do this one as a single topic. It's on measurement. I'll leave it like that, but sometimes it goes with Euclidean geometry, but I'll do it as a single topic on measurement. And then we will do Euclidean geometry. That is question number 9 will be on Euclidean, which will continue to be on question number 10. Again, it will be under Euclidean. So I'm going to do it as like per the topics. 10 continuous is under Euclidean, you can see that. And then question 11 again is on Euclidean, see that. And question Yeah, that's question number 11. Let me continue. Yes, that's the end. So it ends in question number 11. So guys, what I want you to do is to follow up these videos, but this is the different thing I'm going to do this time. Sometimes you find students kind of giving comments to say, can you shorten the videos, or the videos sometimes they become too long for one to follow up. Find that some of the videos can be as long as 1 hour or 2 hours, because I'll be trying to do the whole question and then it end up being long. So what I'm going to do is this: I'm going to cut these videos in under 24 minutes. That's why the channel is called 24-minute lesson. So let me get through to this channel. Why is it called a 24-minute lesson? Your mind is able to absorb at a maximum of 24 minutes. Actually 25 minutes, just to be precise. After 25 minutes, it's easy for you to be distracted. It's easy for you to start losing your concentration, to start thinking of other things. So the motivational part is just try to stick to 24 minutes. So there are some videos already before this which are much longer than that. I will encourage you to watch them in pockets of 24 minutes. So if for example, if it's 1 hour, divide that 1 hour into 24 minutes and watch it in those pockets. It can be much better for you. I will bring in a video on how to study effectively and with success, so that you can see how you can take advantage of your mind, how your mind thinks. So how your mind behaves is very important for you to know that. So your mind is able to absorb at a maximum concentration. It can be around 11 minutes, 12 minutes, and then it starts decreasing, but you still get a lot out of 24 minutes. So I want you to be doing these videos in 24 minutes. But to do that, I have gone ahead and divided them in those pockets. So you'll see that a question, for example, the one that we're going to do here on trigonometry, you will see that it will be a continuous question, but I'm going to be cutting it myself into 24 minutes pockets, so that you keep on continuing to the next session, to the next session, to the next session. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now guys, let's get started. But before we get started, you know the drill. I want you to subscribe if this is your first time. I keep seeing you watching. I keep seeing you returning. YouTube shows the number of returning viewers, and you can see that you guys haven't subscribed. Go now and subscribe if this channel is benefiting to you, and ensure that the notification bell is turned on, so that you can be notified every time there is a new video. Also, make sure that you share this channel to your friends, because why? Sharing is caring. Remember, they also want to benefit. They also want those good marks, and the more you share, the more you give out, the more comes back to you. All right. Also, try to revise this with your friends and your colleagues. As you are revising, you might discover that you get more out of you get actually more learning whenever you are in a group. So try to do that. Let us get started now with trig. That's why we are looking at this topic, and then I'm going to, as I said, do everything on trig, but I'm going to cut it for you. All right. Now let us look at question number 5.1 is our first question. Now it says here, in the diagram below, PK24 is a point in the second quadrant such that OP is equal to 25 units, as you can see there given. N is a point on the positive x-axis, and PON is equal to theta. So they shares PON there, that is that angle theta. So now they give then the questions based on this diagram. It says calculate without, without, they even underline the without, do not, meaning you can use a calculator, but they want you to say calculate the size of theta without calculating. Sorry, let me actually get this right. It says without calculating the size of theta. I say now without calculating, meaning don't go through calculating of theta first. So without calculating the size of theta, determine the value of the following, meaning it's possible for you to find theta, but avoid that. First of all, determine the value of the following. 5.1, they want you to find the value of k. They made it 2 marks. So I've got a good space here that I can utilize, and let's try to see what they wanted. They want us to find k, and look at the coordinates here. You can see that the coordinates of p is k and 24. Remember, k represents x and 24 represents y. So now what are you given? What you can do is to divide, to come up with a triangle like this. See that? And this is a 90-degree kind of a triangle. And if this is a 90-degree triangle, what you can then utilize is the Pythagoras theorem, or the theorem of Pythagoras. Now, what does it say? Remember, Pythagoras says x squared plus y squared is equal to what? R squared. So now you need to find out which one is your x, which one is your y, and your r. You can see that my y is vertical, so we'll make that the y, and the x is horizontal, we make that the x, and then r becomes that. Are you seeing that? So if I can then take these to represent what I'm having here, you can see that in here x is k, so I'll have here k squared plus y squared is what? 24 squared is equal to r squared, which is what? You can see that r there is 25 squared. See? Then take 24 squared to the other side. It's positive, it will become negative. So you've got k squared is equal to 25 squared minus 24 squared. And then you've got k squared is equal to, then you can use the calculator for you to find that, which is 25 squared minus 24 squared. I get 49. So you know how to find k. You square root both sides. So k squared is equal to, now be very careful now. That's where most students get it wrong. They will just say k squared is equal to square root of 49. I'll show you where the error is. Now k is equal to square root of 49, you know that it's 7. You're going to get it wrong. Why? Because if you're saying it's 7, look, this is positive 7. But now, look at my diagram. In the second quadrant, there is no way x can be positive. This side, going this direction, x is what? X is negative. And then going this direction, that's where x is positive. So in a way, you are telling us that k represents the positive side, which is somewhere here, which is not correct. So what you need to do, whenever you square root, you're supposed to say plus or minus. And then looking at the reality of your diagram, you can see that k is on the negative side, which is, remember, k represents x. Then you can choose here the negative one. So it becomes k is equal to what? Negative 7. Don't forget. Alright, so you can say k is equal to plus or minus 7. And then you can say therefore, just to know that you are aware, therefore k is equal to negative 7. Why? Because you are looking at the second quadrant, and in the second quadrant, y is positive, but x is what? X is negative. Are you with me? So here, that's why they're saying 5.1.1, determine the value of k. So the k there is negative 7. So the coordinates will be what? Coordinates of p, there will be negative 7 and 24. You see that? And then the next one says 5.1.2, we need to find tan theta. It's 1 mark. Now, what is tan? You come back again to your diagram here and say, okay, I know a few things here. Remember, you are given tan theta, and then you must know sine theta, you must know cos theta. These you must know in terms of x, y, and r. It's SOHCAHTOA, but you need to know in terms of x, y, and r. So it's x, y, and r. You need to know what is cos, what is sine, what is tan. Now, tan is opposite, remember, it's op over hype. So you need to know here what x represents. So if I can do this as a table, it can assist you also to remind yourself. You can just do this before the exam to say there is x, there is y, and there is r. R is always the hype. And then y represents the opposite. And then x represents the adjacent. Remember, it's a SOHCAHTOA. So SOHCAHTOA, opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. So now, if you look at tan theta, I'm actually doing this wrong here. Now you come back to say, what is tan theta? Tan theta, remember, it's SO, CA, and then TOA. I think that. So you need to know these are trig ratios. What is tan? Tan is opposite of adjacent. So tan is op over adjacent, which is equal to, now opposite, you come back here, opposite represents the y, it's y, over adjacent represents the x. I think that. You can do the same for sine, which is opposite, y over hypotenuse, and cos, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. You can do that, but what we are interested on is tan. So now you can see that tan theta is equal to y over x, and then what did we say was our y? We come back here to say y was what? 24. So it's 24 over our x. We just got x representing k, which is -7. So this is equal to -24 over 7. It just becomes negative. That's your tan theta here. That's why it was just 1 mark. Alright, and then they're saying 5.1.3, you need to find sine alpha if theta plus alpha is equal to 360. So let's look at that. Theta plus alpha is equal to 360. They want to find sine alpha. So now what do? Look at this. If I'm given theta plus alpha is equal to 360 degrees, what are they looking at here? They want sine alpha. So let me take theta to the other side. It's positive, it will become negative. So alpha is equal to 360 degrees minus theta. Right, so now they want sine alpha. If I just put sine on both sides, I'll have, remember what I do on the left, I do on the right. So if I say sine alpha, it will be equal to sine 360 minus theta. This now makes sense. And then we come to reduction rules here. That's where they wanted to catch us, is the reduction rules. So you're going to apply reduction rules. And then reduction rules, you need to know what I mean by reduction rules, to say, if I can have quickly here my Cartesian plane here, when you come to the reduction rules, remember, all students take chemistry, and then you've got 0, 90. You need to know this. It must be at the tip of your fingers. 270 and 360. And you need to know the reduction rule for the second. This is first quadrant, this is second quadrant, this is third, and this is the fourth quadrant. That's where my 360 is. Now in the fourth quadrant, the reduction rule is what? Is 360 degrees minus theta. So we are here in the fourth quadrant, and you ask yourself, remember, all students take chemistry. What is cos? Cos is positive, but what is sine? Sine is negative and tan is negative. So we're looking at sine being negative. So meaning, if you take this further, it would mean sine alpha is equal to minus sine theta. I think that, but we know, back to our diagram here, we know what is sine. We just remember we're talking about sine here. Let me just remove 10 now. We're talking about sine under SOHCAHTOA, to say sine theta is equal to, SOHCAHTOA is opposite over hypotenuse, which is equal to, opposite is represented by y over hypotenuse is represented by r. I think that. So sine theta here is equal to y. Come back on the part here to say y is 24 over r is what? R is 25. This was our sine theta. What about negative sine theta? So it will simply become, when you come back to here, sine alpha, let me remove that, sine alpha will be equal to negative sine theta, which is negative 24 over 25. Are you seeing this? Okay, so that is how this could have kind of panned out. So if I can have here. Yes, this is that part. So sine that, which is sine alpha, is equal to negative 24 over 25. I think that becomes what? The sine alpha. And then 10, I just removed, but we said 10 was, I wanted to write the answer, 10 theta was equal to y, which was 24 over r, which it was negative 24 over 7. So these are the answers. I'm just putting the answers. Now next question is 5.1.4. here let's just remove some of this stuff here. 5.1.4 is 3 marks. It says we need to, it's a continuation because it has got alpha, theta and alpha. It says you need to also simplify this part, which is what? Which is cos squared theta minus sine squared theta. I mean cos squared theta minus sine squared alpha. Sorry about that. Now cos squared, meaning I need to know what is my cos. Again, if you say cos theta is equal to, we back again to our what? SOHCAHTOA. Cos is equal to A adjacent over hypotenuse, but you can see that in terms of A, which is x, I mean x, y, and r, which is x over r. Now cos theta will give us what? X is negative 7, that's our k, over r is 25. I think that. Now if they say to me I need to simplify cos squared theta minus sine squared alpha, what do? I take the values. Cos squared is minus 7 over 25, but don't forget that bracket because it's cos squared. You need to do it like this. If they say cos squared, it's the same as saying, let me actually write it here. This is same as saying cos theta bracket squared minus sine alpha. So don't get confused, bracket squared. That's what it means. That's why you also have to put a bracket and then you put the squared outside, and then minus sine squared alpha, which has got sine alpha, which is bracket minus 24 over 25 squared. I think that. Then with the calculator you can actually simplify that. Let's see what it gives us. It will be bracket negative 7 over 25 squared minus bracket again negative 24 over 25, and this is squared, and then you get the answer there to be negative 527 over 625. Negative 527 over 625. Then this becomes what? The final answer to this question. Alright, so this is that. Are you with me? So that's how this question goes about. So guys, what did I say? I said I'm going to be breaking these videos into small chunks. So now, because of that, this is the end of this section. So if you are watching this section, I'm going to end it here. That was 5.1.1 to 5.1.4. It gives you good marks if you can check. That is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you get 9 marks. Now we are going to continue in the next section. I'm doing it now, but you're going to find it in the next session. In the next session, we are going to look now at 5.2, where we're going to simplify this, and then we're going to see how long it's going to take. But the aim is not to rush you through. The aim is to make or to take it as easy and as understandable as possible. So if you are watching, you need to join me in the next lesson where I will be doing now question 5.2. Now this is that.